Good afternoon. Thank you for being here. I want to thank Deputy Chief Siebenek and Commander Alma Sweeney from our Investigations Division for being here with me today. I want to thank all of you for being here as well. First of all, we send our condolences to the family of the individual who was deceased at the hospital last night, and also for anyone else impacted by this event. No one should fear coming to a demonstration, peaceful and lawful demonstration in our city. And what happened last night was sudden and alarming and not representative of our values here in Salt Lake City or in our state here, Utah. In the coming days, we'll learn more as the investigation progresses, but we will provide a few more details today. But before I do that, I just want to thank again the brave men and women of the Salt Lake City Police Department and our allied agencies for their response to this sudden and unanticipated action that occurred. Our teams acted with courage and professionalism and responded very quickly in the middle of a lot of chaos. As one of our officers said today, when you think we talk about all the time officers running toward gunfire, and that's exactly what happened last night. And one of our officers said, it's easy to run toward gunfire when you're with highly trained and well-coordinated officers. And so this is representative of what our Salt Lake City officers and our allied agencies are willing to do every day for the public. Going into the details of the investigation to date, always subject to change. As the march permitted through downtown, a sergeant assigned to our motor squad heard gunfire and called it out. Officers on the ground secured the scene and began searching for the threats. When they arrived, they found a man down with a gunshot wound and began life-saving efforts. Two SWAT medics were on scene very quickly and provided those life-saving efforts until Salt Lake City Fire and Gold Cross ambulance arrived and proceeded to take the individual into their care. Despite their efforts, the victim did die at the hospital. And out of respect for the victim and their family, I won't be releasing the name here, but it will be released later today. Our preliminary investigation shows that our victim was not the intended target, but rather an innocent bystander participating in the demonstration. Shortly after the shooting, officers and detectives were flagged down near 100 South, 200 East, and there they found a man later identified as 24-year-old Arturo Gamboa. He had a minor gunshot wound and was hiding in a group of people. At the time of his arrest, officers also recovered an AR-15 style rifle, a gas mask, and a backpack. Gamboa was treated and later booked into jail on a charge of murder. At the time of the incident, we also detained two other individuals. These individuals were wearing high visibility neon vests and were armed and possibly part of the event's peacekeeping team. Based on early witness statements, these men saw Gamboa separate from the crowd at one point during the march and move behind a wall where they noticed him pull out a rifle and begin manipulating it. Gamboa was then confronted by these two men. Witnesses say Gamboa raised the weapon in a firing position and began running toward the crowd. One of the individuals fired 3 rounds, striking Gamboa and tragically striking the man who later died. We are less than 24 hours into this investigation. There's still a lot of questions to be answered, and we will continue to update you as we learn more and the investigation progresses. What we do know is that this incident unfolded very quickly. It was chaotic, but it was resolved very quickly, thanks to our officers, to many residents and citizens and community members who assisted the police in making notifications and pointing out individuals and being very good community members and helpful. Our detectives are working closely with the Salt Lake District Attorney's Office to ensure a thorough review of all the facts. As the governor and mayor said last night, we are resilient, and we will continue to work tirelessly as the Salt Lake City Police Department to keep our community safe. Again, I want to thank our officers, our dispatchers, our fire and EMS personnel, our partner agencies, and so many others who helped support the event and respond to this tragic incident. You know, we had officers who were working their day shift who stayed on to help cover this event. We had officers who came off their weekends to help us, and we had officers who worked at the event and then went on their graveyard shift to go out and do their regular duties. We really do appreciate all that they do for us in our community. And last, I want to again extend condolences to the family of the victim. And with that, I'll take a few questions.
What do we know about this Gamboa at this point?
He is from Utah, and we don't have much there's no criminal history at all with this individual. And, you know, we're in the early stages of the investigation, and we'll continue to uncover, I'm sure, more in the future.
And he never fired a shot?
He did not fire a shot.
Can you release what his middle name is, or the middle initial?
I don't have it, but maybe.
We don't have it at this time. The jail booking information is Arturo Gamboa.
Can you spell the first and last name for me?
We can get that for you.
Okay, thank you.
Can you talk about what training or what standards may have been required for people acting in safety for the event organizers?
So that is definitely something that will be part of the investigation, and we'll learn more in the future.
Any charges expected or against the security staff?
At this point, the investigation is continuing. We did not take any actions last night on those two individuals. The one that fired is still cooperating. We're working with his attorney.
Any idea of Gamboa's motivation to be there? What he wanted to do?
Not at this point, but that's what detectives are looking into right now.
You
Any
mentioned
political affiliations?
Unknown right now, unless you have anything.
No, nothing at this time.
You mentioned he was found hiding in a crowd. Was there any indication? I mean, was the crowd cooperating with law enforcement? Was the crowd protecting him in any way?
Absolutely. The crowd actually pointed him out to law enforcement, and their actions were heroic.
These armed individuals in the high visibility vests, was the department aware that they would be at the President of the March?
We were aware they were in the area. We had made contact with them at Pioneer Park, and were aware. To what extent we contacted them, I don't know, but we were aware of them.
Are you looking at this point if the gunman was acting alone or if he had any other people working with him on the ground?
We will continue to investigate and look into that. There's no indication at this time that there were others working with him, unless you have something.
No indications at this point.
Yeah.
Can you maybe please specify again who fired shots?
So one of the individuals in the high visibility vests fired 3 rounds. So we had one individual fire 3 rounds, and he was the only individual.
Okay, so there were only 3 shots fired.
Yes.
Do you know how he was armed or what kind of gun he was using?
It was a handgun, but I don't know the make or model.
How close was that backpack? And you said that you recovered an AR-15 style rifle, a gas mask, and a backpack. Was that close to Gamboa where he was detained?
It was very close. It was removed by a citizen away from him.
Okay. Anything else in the backpack that was of interest?
That'll be. I don't have those details right now.
So you are certain that the backpack, rifle, and gas mask belong to Gamboa then?
Well, that will be determined in the future. Yeah, but it was in the proximity, and it also matched what we had the description of what we had had at the original site of the shooting.
Were there any other injuries as a result of the chaos, people running, anything like that?
Gamboa sustained a minor gunshot wound. I'm not aware of any other injuries.
Do we know how many these security members in the high visibility vest, do we know how many of them there were? And were they all coordinated through the event, or were people just showing up like that?
I don't have that information right now, but the investigation will definitely continue to look into that.
Any initial description of the victim age, anything like that, that we could use?
We could probably give the age. 39-year-old male.
When will you release the name?
I think it's going to be later today. We just want to make sure that the families had the opportunity to make notification. Family notification has been made, but we just want to make sure they have an opportunity to notify anyone that they feel they need to before it goes out publicly.
Can you tell us if the victim is from Utah, is from Salt Lake?
I'm not sure. Does anyone know?
We can find that information, I'll provide it.
Prior to the officer hearing the shots fired, did SLCPD have any reason to think there were going to be threats on this march yesterday?
No, we had prepared extensively. You know, we had the march on Thursday night. We were very prepared then, but we were even more prepared Saturday night, and things were going very well. It was a very peaceful demonstration. Officers at the Pioneer Park were engaging with community members there. It was going very well and peaceful. This came out of nowhere.
A question about that preparation, obviously, officers were at Pioneer Park and escorting the parade.
Mm-hmm.
Were there other officers kind of deployed along the route, or, you know, what else did you guys have in place in case of?
We had our motors officers who were, and some of our patrol officers who were closing intersections and helping the crowd move, but we also had quick response teams and our mobile field force in the event we needed them, which in this case we did.
Any other questions? Thank you, everyone.
Thanks.